Alright everyone, welcome back. It's race 4 of the IRS GT4 Championship. We're here today at Brands Hatch. As you can see, it's slightly overcast. Let's bring up the telemetry for you. And let's go through the order. In pole position, we've got Timlour. Starting second, we've got R1600 Turbo. It's like a recurring theme here. In third, starting third, we've got Moby 45. Back for this week's race, starting in fourth place, we have Little Chicken Nugget. Starting fifth, we've got Mo Power. And in sixth position at the start, the first of the Pro-Ams, GTP Guido. Starting seventh, we've got Whitey. Starting eighth, DesertPenguin. Starting ninth, Ace Boy. We got some pros mixed in with the Pro-Ams. Whitey and Ace Boy are pros mixed in. Starting 10th, we've got Johnny G91. Starting 11th, Gentleman Racing, winner of the Pro-Am division at with the endurance event at Catalunya. And starting 12th, Race Fan. So we had some interesting outcomes. After all the incident reviews at race 3, there was one particularly troublesome incident where there was a rear end, 3 cars involved. All 3 took damage. In the end, we ended up losing Timlour to a disconnect, who was kind of running away with the race with the commanding lead. So he's got some making up to do, dropping points to the other Pro-Ams, a lot of points actually. Pull up the points here before we reach the start here of the formation lap before the start of the race. So yeah, Timlour's got some work to do. He's down about 12 points to the leader Turbo, and about 5 points to Mo Power. So he's gonna need a strong race to make up those points. He's got time. It's only race 4 of the season, but sure enough. All right, here we go. Approaching the start. Coming up to the line. And they're off. Get through Paddock Hill Bend here. Nice, nice. Don't seem to be any problems through the field. Oh, Little Chicken Nugget has an off. Drops back down through the field. Oh, that's unfortunate. Got onto the grass on the way into the corner. Thankfully, it doesn't look like he took any damage. Nope, no damage. He's gonna just have to hustle it up to make his way back through the field. Be a hell of a drive if he does it. Must say that's a wonderful looking livery. And here we have it, Timlour doing what he needs to do. Jumping out to the lead. Hope he can avoid any troubles, any collisions. He can run his race, set the pace here. So typically in these races, the organizers set the initial fuel to 80 liters. And this happened once before last season. The organizer forgot to do that, and it's defaulted to 100. So we're going to be watching people's fuel levels We'll be watching them closely to see if anyone's going to try to stretch it. It's supposed to be set up so that one stop is mandatory. So one would think, though, that even if they can make it on fuel, the tires would just be decimated. Let's see how the Pro-Ams are looking. Yeah, it looks like DesertPenguin's gotten by Guido. And it looks like Johnny G. Yeah, it looks like Whitey and Ace Boy have gone ahead and put their qualifying troubles behind them. They've gotten past those pro-ams in the grid order, so they're forging ahead. We've got DesertPenguin, who we have to say, as the pro-am championship leader, he's got a pretty good lead on the people even in second place. So if you can get a win in pro-am, he's gonna extend that lead ever so slightly, but still putting some dominant performances. Really lackluster performance at Catalunya, but even admittedly he was carrying full ballast. He's lost 1% ballast this week as a result of the poor outcome there, and even he would admit that it's not his strongest circuit. And then you compound that with the fact that, you know, it was an endurance race. He struggled with tires, but nevertheless in the lead here, so he's looking good to extend his championship lead for the Pro-Ams. And there you have it. There's Chicken Nugget looking to get by Gentleman Racing. He's got to make his run up the field, so Gentleman Racing is trying to get on Johnny G's tail. He doesn't want to have to deal with this faster pro driver, but nevertheless, he's going to have to let him by at some point. He may, oh, and we have some... What do we have here? We have Mo Power. DesertPenguin falling back. He's behind Moby. Really we were just saying that DesertPenguin could pull off a win here, and now he's back to the rear of the order. With Gentleman Racing leading. Looks like, nope. GTP Guido leading the Pro-Ams after some action back there. And that tight uphill left-hander. Looks like maybe Mo Power and Moby got into it, and DesertPenguin had to back off a little bit. Cars just got by him. So now DesertPenguin and Race Fan are probably going to be teaming up to catch up to the rest of the field. Ooh, aggressive move by DesertPenguin. Race Fan holds him off. He's got the preferred line here. Yeah, DesertPenguin really aggressive. See what Johnny's doing. Johnny's up with Gentleman Racing, trying to chase him down. You see Chicken Nugget getting by the lead Pro-Am driver and Guido there. Guido lets him by, slots back into the racing line. Now here's a driver that's got a lot of work to do. Gentleman Racing, he's about 8 points behind in the standings, behind DesertPenguin, the leader of the Pro-Ams. So all the pro drivers have now moved ahead of the Pro-Ams, and the Pro-Ams have been left to fight it out amongst themselves. Looks like DesertPenguin, Race Fan. Let's see. I think Moby and Mo Power had to pit. I think they made it through the rest of the lap, fell behind the rest of the field, and took to the pits to repair damage. Doesn't look like... Looks like when they did that, Mo Power topped off, but Moby didn't. So they got a lot of work to do. It's a long race, though. All right, let's check out the leader and run through the order here. Got Timlour in the lead with a good gap back to Turbo. Nothing huge, but a lot larger than we normally see with these two. And again, Timlour, due to his disconnect and his finish, he was able to shed 1% of ballast. The way it works is you accrue the ballast, and the only way to get it off is to finish off the podium in your respective class. So a Pro-Am driver who finishes 4th in his class gets to take off 1% for the next race. Same thing with the pros. The pros max out at 5% though. So as soon as they are finishing off the podium, they get to reduce the amount of weight they've built up. Keeps things interesting from race to race, kind of forces the drivers to have to manage the car and how it performs. And believe it or not, you wouldn't think, but an extra 3 to 5% really starts to affect the car's overall pace. Not a ton, but enough to keep things interesting among the different drivers. We got Ace Boy in 3rd. Yeah, and Whitey in 4th. And as we can see here, Little Chicken Nugget is already kind of caught up to these guys. We're going to try to give Chicken Nugget as much screen time as possible, given everything that's going on. It's very tough week to week because there's so much battling. But, you know, he was down in 12th at one point at the beginning of lap 1, and 6 laps later he's in 5th trying to hunt down the other pro drivers. Must say that livery's very nice looking. You don't see too many sports teams liveries. Well, I guess you do, but I usually don't see them racing. Very nice job. Now we've got Guido being pursued by Gentleman Racing, who's got, you know, he's got a chip on his shoulder. Races 1 and 2, very poor performances. Kind of earned some redemption at Catalunya in the endurance event, but he also earned 3% of ballast. So let's see if he'll be able to keep it up, given the additional weight. Looks like he's gapped Johnny G a little bit. It must be said, Johnny G's carrying a little extra weight himself. Guido have a little trouble coming out of that corner. Here we are, Chicken Nugget on Whitey's tail. Look at a variety of cars: Mercedes, McLaren, Jaguar, Viper, BMW, Corvette. It's a beautiful thing. Let's go on board with Chicken Nugget for a little bit. He missed the race at Catalunya. Maybe endurance 90-minute races aren't his thing. I don't know. Could be work, life. If only we didn't have to give up sim racing for real life stuff. Oh well. Whitey gets a little piece of the dirt back there. It's a little squirrely. I use that term a lot. I don't know if you could know what that means, guys. Just gets, you know, a little loose, tail starts wagging. Squirrely. Oh, he's on him. Careful, boys, careful. We've got this battle going on. We've got Gentleman Racing, and just behind that battle, a few seconds back, we've got Gentleman Racing trying to hunt down Guido. Board with Gentleman Racing. As you can see, that's the tail end of the pro class. And these two pro-ams able to keep pace somewhat. I mean, I don't think they're going to catch them. Nugget still on Whitey's tail. It's looking like Guido had an off. Was distracted checking some messages. And yeah, looks like Guido had an off and Gentleman Racing took full advantage. Now he sees himself similar to a situation in Catalunya where he's just sailing on. You can see the tail end of the pro class. Now he's got Guido, who looks like he may fall into the clutches of Johnny. Desert Penguin trying to make up lost time. And Race Fan. As we're seeing guys pick up small track limits penalties here. We're not seeing any of those gigantic 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 second penalties. And still convinced that those were due to people getting hit and then going off, or hitting someone and then going off. So penalty system screwed up for sure, but we're committed. Organizers are committed to the track limit penalties, as in and of themselves they don't seem to cause too many problems, just kind of to remind drivers to not push too far when running their laps. Still a nice gap. Oh, this battle for third. Battle for third's a good one. We'll have to keep an eye on this, particularly late in the race, to see how it develops. Again, Chicken Nugget's on a mission here. I'd like to think that he would have been up there with Turbo at the very least, maybe even Timlour, had he not had that problem in the first lap up at the top of the hairpin. Just kind of got into the grass and had no way to slow her down. Did well to not get any damage. Yeah, Gentleman Racing. He's got to keep it together if he can get this finish. If he can get that finish, the win in the Pro-Am class, and have Desert Penguin finish a few positions back, he can start to make up some points and maybe give this make a run at this Pro-Am championship. Yeah, so both classes are on track. Obviously they're on track simultaneously, but they're kind of running their own races against each other. Occasionally you'll see a Pro-Am driver maybe surge ahead of a pro, but that's usually due to the pro having some kind of issue or just qualifying poorly on any particular day, generally the difference between these guys is, you know, as much as 3-4 seconds between the pros and the pro-ams. But it's nice. It gives it that touch of feel of a multi-class race without having different car categories. Let's check the back of the field, see how they're doing. Yeah, Moby and Mopower still trying to make up for lost time here. Race fan struggling today. But he's staying with it. He's gonna keep pushing. He's not that far behind his fellow pro-am, so. Got Johnny G. Nice healthy gap between these 3 cars. Probably about a second or so. Johnny's tires looking good. Guido's tires looking good. Gentleman Racing's tires looking really good. Whitey pits on lap 13. Oh, he picked up damage. Oh no. Whitey, how did that happen? Oh, sorry about the noise, folks. That's not from the pits. So Whitey picks up some damage. We don't know what happened there. Ace Boy gives up the inside, does the over-under move. Gets back ahead ever so slightly here on Chicken Nugget, but Chicken Nugget's got the inside coming up to the next corner. Got Ace Boy surging ahead. Will he chop the nose off? Will he chop the nose off? No, they go so. Oh, and he does. He does. Holds on to third. Nicely done. But you know what? You don't dispatch the old little Chicken Nugget that easily. Chicken Nugget is going to be chomping at the bit to get that third place. He's determined. Really an impressive drive by the Chicken Nugget. Interestingly, little fun fact, little Chicken Nugget goes by another name, Big Beefy Taco. So really he's got quite an extensive menu of usernames and PSN tags. Yeah, kind of makes you hungry. Making us hungry here at the Gentleman Racing Studios. And the first of the pro-ams not far behind there, Gentleman Racing. And GTP Guido. Yeah, I mentioned earlier that the organizers made a small error in not adjusting the starting fuel level to 80 liters. We still think everyone's going to have to pit at least once. And regardless of that fact, these results will be official. There won't be any consequences for the drivers. That's not on them. It's not their responsibility. So they're going to run their race as they see fit. You know, it's an unfortunate circumstance, but we'll have to see. No one knows what the outcome would have been had that setting been put in correctly, but so be it. Those are circumstances outside control. Now, it looks like Gentleman Racing has settled into a pace, but it may not be a particularly good one because it looks like Guido, Johnny, and Penguin are, you know, ever so slightly reeling in Gentleman Racing. Let's take a look at the lap times. 31s. Oh, Gentleman Racing gets off into the sand coming out of Paddock Hill Bend. And Viper takes advantage. That is not what Gentleman Racing needed. That is the exact opposite of what he needed. Oh, jeez. A slight loss of focus in this Pro-Am class. And there you have it. Now he's only got one position up on Desert Penguin, the championship leader. And it should be noted that Gentleman Racing needed a strong finish here. He's down in 4th in the point standings. We're going to have to put together an overlay with the points at the start of race 5, the halfway point, so folks can see where people are at. But the point margins as far as moving ahead amongst these Pro-Ams are very small. Sometimes one position up is only worth a point. So this is not a good development for Gentleman Racing. Oh, we got Johnny. Oh, Johnny, no, no, no. Johnny G, engine damage, aero damage. Oh, I just lost it completely. Whitey and Moby. Looks like Whitey made a pit stop just a couple of laps ago. Moby's gonna have to stop, so he's just hoping to grab the draft. He's got about a half a tank of fuel, and I don't know. He may be trying to just coast to the end without an additional stop. You got to remember I think these guys pitted. Not these guys, but Moby and Mopar pitted really early in the race, so he may be looking to run the distance. Just sliding in behind Whitey here. So Gentleman Racing, now he's spent some time early in the race behind Guido, chasing him down, and he's got to do it all to do again. Yeah, it looks like Desert Penguin has stopped at the halfway point, so he's looking good. He's looking good for a strong finish. Gentleman Racing's gonna have to make a stop. Guido in a strong 5th. Looks like Guido, I don't know. I don't think he's gonna make it 18 more laps with that fuel, but he's also gonna need tires or he'll be hurting. And he goes in. Oh, and we've got Ace Boy and Little Chicken Nugget pitting. Got damage. Oh, it's all falling apart here. Oh yeah, it looked like they hit the barrier back there. So Ace Boy and Chicken Nugget, looks like they got into it a little bit. Looks like Ace Boy might have taken a bite out of that nugget. You know, those type of incidents are not good. They're sweet for the chasing drivers, but sour for the people involved in the collision. It's terrible. Terrible jokes. Gentleman Racing out in 3rd. Timlour pits. Turbo stays out. So we got Gentleman Racing running 3rd. It looks like he's going long on this first stint, with Guido, the next Pro-Am, behind. Not that far behind though. Oh, he's got some pros coming up on him. Yep, he's got Whitey and Moby coming up on him. Looks like he might even just dive right in right now. Yep, he's got the hazard lights on. Dives into the pit. Meanwhile, Whitey and Moby go by. Oh, that's not good. Not good for Gentleman Racing. Desert Penguin and Guido have gotten by. Oh, Gentleman Racing. He's got a lot of time to make up. He's got 16 laps to try to make up by about 9 seconds. We didn't catch it on screen, but Gentleman Racing had an off, got into the sand again, not at Paddock Hill Bend, but just before the pit. And you can see he's not too far behind those guys. Really aggressive on the curbs. So there's Gentleman Racing, and just ahead of Little Chicken Nugget you see Guido, or Penguin, and then Guido. So that's his target, it looks like. He's got to keep it together in order to catch those guys. Otherwise, his race is a bust. Here we have the leaders. Both have made their one pit stop. They're good to go on fuel, good to go on tires. Yeah, and Turbo's keeping in touch with Timlour. Keep an eye on those guys. Keep an eye on the leaderboard. On to lap 21. Best lap. Timlour with a 29 flat. Looks like Turbo ran a 132. That doesn't seem right. Got Whitey in third. Moby in fourth. Whitey definitely stopped. I don't know if Moby's gonna make it with that little bit of fuel. He's gonna have to do some fuel saving. Desert Penguin in fifth, strong fifth. Being chased by Guido. And just behind Guido is the Little Chicken Nugget, which is fifth in over. He's in seventh on track, but fifth position overall, I believe, in the pros. So he's gonna want to get by these guys. I don't know if he can in 14 laps make up the gap to the guys ahead, but you never know. They may suffer an off. And Gentleman Racing, another really unfortunate performance today. Looking like he's gonna finish off the podium. And we're gonna check the schedule here. He's gonna have to just finish this race as strong as he can and just look towards next week. Yeah, unfortunate. They'll be at Red Bull Ring next week. Last season at Red Bull, they had to deal with the rain. And Gentleman Racing didn't do too well in the wet. Forecast for Red Bull Ring is looking like it's gonna be dry. Leaders are looking good. We'll be keeping pace with Whitey. He may need a splash and dash at the end. Desert Penguin looking strong. The Chicken Nugget got by Guido. Yeah, this is for position on track, but they're in different classes. Penguin and Nugget are in different classes, so I would think that if Nugget gets up on Desert Penguin here, that we're going to see Desert Penguin do the smart thing and just let Chicken Nugget by and then run his own race. All he's got to worry about right now is Guido. He's gapped nicely, so yeah, really nice drive by Penguin. Just kept forging, fighting. At one point he was in the back of the pack for the Pro-Ams, minus Race Fan, who's having a tough race. But he forged ahead. Guido looking to grab a second place in the Pro-Ams if this holds. If he's still got a long way to go, so we're not going to make any predictions. Gentleman Racing looking for a third place finish. Yeah, he's got to hold on to every position he can. He's got Johnny G quite a ways back. But this Mo Power presents a threat to Gentleman Racing, because although they're in different classes, if Gentleman Racing loses that 8th position, he'll go down even further to the Pro-Am drivers in terms of points. Oh, terrible circumstances. So thankfully, Gentleman Racing's got quite a gap back to, well, not even the length of the straight. Mopaw's got plenty of time to close the gap and get by. As Ace Boy finding himself back in 11th. How did this happen? Very amateur production here. We're missing all kind of incidents. Race Fan back in 12th. Leader still holding station. Oof, wow. Very wide. Kissing the sand. There's your leaders, your class leaders. Timlour leading the Pro-Ams, first place overall. Desert Penguin lead. Oh, wait a minute, what did I say there? Timlour leading the Pro class, first place overall. And Desert Penguin leading the Pro-Am division in 6th place, which awards a nice little bundle of points. It's Desert Penguin's first full season. He ran a few races at towards the tail end of season 2. Season 3 is his first full season in the GT4 championship, and he's putting on a clinic for the rest of the Pro-Am drivers. They're gonna have to step it up if they're not gonna let him get away with it. Could Guido be the one to put pressure on him? Maybe Gentleman Racing, not judging by his driving lately. Ooh, Mopar with an off. Did Johnny challenge Desert Penguin this season? It's possible. Ace Boy in the Pro division. He's got fresh tires, but he's struggling to keep it on. Car's got some scrapes on it, but no damage to affect the performance. We got Race Fan in 12th. In danger of going a lap down. If you're not a participant in the series, but you've been watching the race broadcasts and you're interested in knowing more about the series, you want to go to gtplanet.net, check out the forums. It's where, well, you want to check out the Gran Turismo Sport forums and the Gran Turismo Sport online racing and leagues. This is where you can find the thread. I really should start putting a link in the broadcast, but these things are hastily put together. A lot of pressure to get these things out. Or perhaps we'll go back and edit and add the links. Even if you're not interested in participating because it's not your thing, but you want to know more info, check out the thread. There's point spreadsheets, ballast spreadsheets, all kinds of interesting info. Oof. Race fan. Race fan. He's having an impact on the race for the lead here. Two leaders are going to want to get by. Race fan does the right thing, pulls to the right hand side, lifts off ever so slightly, lets them by, but you can see the impact. Turbo is able to pull right up on Timlour's bumper here. Timlour succumbed to the pressure. Doesn't look like he is. Let's cut to Gentleman Racing. He's all on his own, no help with draft. Nothing he can do. Guido falling back ever so slightly. Oh, Desert Penguin, keep it together. Oh, nice job. I can tell you, boy, from experience, going off there is dangerous. Oftentimes it hooks you back to the right and puts you right to the barrier nose first. Engine damage usually is the outcome. It could be race over, but Desert Penguin, nice job keeping it together. That allows Guido to close in a little bit, but still, nice little advantage on Desert Penguin. Back to the leaders. Oh, Turbo gets by. And Turbo's late race surge here. He's got the fast lap. You can see it, 28.9. 29 flat for Timlour. So Turbo still with some significant pace here. And these two drivers, just the class of the field here in this series. Phenomenal racing between them two all season long. Oh, they get out there. They're running hard. We heard some chatter from Turbo's crew chief that the driver was complaining of understeer, particularly through this corner here. But he seems to be managing it well. Yeah, and you can see Timlour pull right up. Gets a nicer, quicker line through the right-hander, the left-hander there up the hill. I believe that's Surtees. Oh, Timlour aggressive, goes inside. But Turbo holds the outside line. You know what we got to do. Go on board. Go on board with Timlour. Sorry about that, guys. Messed that up. When he goes inside, oh, he makes it stick. Gets back by Turbo. That's how it's done, folks. Nose to tail racing, no contact, everybody leaving each other plenty of room, making the most of alternate lines, still carrying the speed. And we have to remark that Turbo, that team picked up new primary sponsors. Motul stepped up after Volt Racing bailed on them. Thankfully, Motul was able to step up, keep the racing program going. It's like somebody had an off back there. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah, it looks like Johnny G Looks like Johnny G might have had an off, but no damage. So Johnny G and Race Fan a lap down to the leaders. 6 laps to go here. Yep, just crossed the line. The leaders have 6 laps left. Let's check on the Pro-Am leader. Yep, holding his own. Checks the mirror, sees Guido back there. You see that, right? When the little avatar checks the mirrors? It's awesome. Guido's closed up a little bit. And yeah, it's the tire wear on that Lexus is bad. And you can see he's got some significant wear as compared to Guido. Maybe twice as much wear. So let's see, can Guido give it a little bit of a push here and try to give him a fight? Gentleman Racing's tires are looking good. Fuel's looking good. But it doesn't look like he's going to be able to make anything happen here. He may even lose a point or two if Mo Power is able to get by him. Oh, Ace Boy in the pits. What's up with that? Yeah, he's suffering with the tires. So Gentleman Racing. Just struggling. Well, he's closed in a little bit. We got Moby and Whitey still going at it. Moby with a good race here. Yeah, 5th in the pros, but I mean, really struggling this season. That the balanced performance at some point is going to have to help that Supra out, because it's just down on power in this class, particularly with all the V8s in that pro class. We got Chicken Nugget on his own. If these two behind him, if Whitey and Moby kind of stay patient with one another and are able to close the gap to Nugget, we may have a battle for 3rd place here. We'll have to keep an eye on it. And Penguin might fall victim to the excessive tire wear on that Lexus, and he's gonna have to worry about this Viper here in the closing 4 laps. Oh yeah, you see it there. As soon as he gets on the throttle, it just pushes. Having to use the curbs to help him get the car to rotate. He's doing a nice job though, given the circumstances. And Gentleman Racing looks like he's drawing a little bit closer, but he really needs Guido and Penguin to start mixing it up. Not crash or anything like that, but just start losing time because they're battling, you know. Maybe some side by side. That's the only thing that's really going to help Gentleman Racing. And to be quite honest, looks like Mo Power's reeling Gentleman Racing in anyway. So yeah, we'll get back to that. We'll keep an eye on it, because this 3rd position battle is looking, yeah, looks like it could develop, but just hasn't yet. We got Moby, Whitey hustling their cars to try to get up to that final podium spot. Ooh, Nugget's tires just rough. Whitey's tires look really good. That's one thing about that McLaren. Moby's aren't too bad. Let's check on the leaders. Looks like Timlour's. Oh, looks like Timlour's gap Turbo. Turbo must have had an off. Yeah. Looks like Turbo's falling back quite a ways. So Timlour, looking like with 2 laps to go, he's going to secure a win here. Turbo 2nd. We'll run through the order now. Chicken Nugget in 3rd. Whitey 4th. Moby 5th. DesertPenguin, the first of the Pro-Ams, in 6th, with Guido close behind in 7th. 8th, we've got Gentleman Racing. 9th, Mo Power hunting down Gentleman Racing. 10th, we've got Ace Boy, did a late pit stop there. 11th, Johnny G, and Race Fan in 12th. We'll stay with Timlour. Another cracking drive by Timlour. Nicely done. Just what he needed to kind of make up for the disconnect last week and the very low finishing position and points haul. So, yeah. Nugget struggling on corner entry. Those front tires are. And it looks like exactly what Nugget does not need is happening. It looks like Whitey and Moby are working together to close that gap. Or at the very least, they may not be working together, but they're not battling one another. Going side by side through these corners. They're carrying as much speed as possible. Yep, and here it is. They're closing right up. And there's the ugly tire wear. And I believe I'm certain that Nugget is actually a DS4 user. And for those who aren't aware, a lot of these drivers use sim racing wheels to play the game. So I would say probably the majority of people who have this game use the gamepad, but the DS4 gamepad users have accelerated tire wear as compared to your average wheel user. So we're seeing that come into play here. And there's nothing wrong with whatever input system you need to use is fine. Oh, look at this battle for third. Oh, and Whitey gets in on the inside. Moby tucks in behind Whitey. We're showing Whitey now in third, with Moby right behind. And Chicken Nugget desperately using that V8 power to stay with these guys. Oh, and they both get by. They both get by. Whitey now in the last podium spot. Good points paying position. Moby now in fourth. And in fifth, we've got Chicken Nugget. You know, what could have been had he not had that issue at the start of the race. Chicken Nugget, with that off up on the tight hairpin, he'd have still been maybe a couple seconds ahead here in the closing laps. It's unfortunate, but nevertheless, a nice recovery. Tire wear reared its ugly head and got his car handling very different. And you should note that tire wear is only on tire and fuel consumption. They're both on 2x here. Nice job. We're gonna have to break away to the leader, Timlour, on the final lap in the closing stages of the race here. Timlour. Looks like Timlour will be our winner. Yes. Timlour, winner of race 4 at Brands Hatch. Second place, it's going to be Turbo with a nice run. Yeah, he suffered from understeer from what we hear, so still a strong finish. He still is going to maintain his championship lead. Whitey, is Moby going to have time to put a move on Whitey for the final podium spot? Let's see. Stay with him. Oh, the penultimate corner here. We've got Race Fan up ahead, but it looks like he's far enough ahead that he's not going to come into play. It's not going to impact this. No track limit penalties to affect the race, and it looks like Whitey by a hair. Whitey gets third, Moby gets fourth. Phenomenal race towards the end there for the final podium spot. Chicken Nugget, unfortunate to have all that tire wear. Desert Penguin followed closely by Guido. Desert Penguin will get the win in the Pro-Am division. Second place for Guido. And it looks like Mo Power did in fact get by Gentleman Racing. Unfortunately, we got interrupted there, so you're gonna have to just bear with me and look at the screen. And we're gonna cut it now and go to a photo of the finishing order.